Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Stacy. This is my son, Justin, and welcome to Boat Cap, where me and my son give our raw, unfiltered thoughts right after the game is over. And man, today was rough. The Chargers go into Jacksonville and get blown out, and for whatever the reason, this team just cannot get out of his own way against the Jacksonville Jaguars. We've seen it now, three straight matchups, right? September of 2022 regular season, it was a big blowout, I believe 38-10, and then that brutal wild card collapse after being up 27 nothing, and now today. So, Justin, let's get into it and let's try to figure out what this Jacksonville Jaguar situation is. So, let me start with this. Why do you think the Chargers keep having these disaster type games, specifically against Jacksonville? And do you think it's a mental block at this point, or is it just a matchup problem? What's your thoughts?
I'm not sure if it's a mental block or a matchup problem. Really, I feel like it's more so to do with us rather than Jacksonville. They did a good job of. They the game plan,
Yeah.
get pressure on Herbert, and they did a great job of that. Herbert got pressured on more than 50% of his dropbacks. We never established a run game. We never really could,
Right.
and the game got away from us. So it was no point in trying to or going back to it. Defensively, we were atrocious. We gave up more than I think they averaged more than 5 yards per carry. Middle of the field was wide open every time. We made no adjustments, especially after halftime, with the game still being in reach. So as far as Jacksonville, I'm not sure if it's a matchup problem, but I will say every time we do face off with Jacksonville, they do bring up that playoff loss,
Hmm.
and it probably still lingers. But I don't feel as though that should affect this team, especially with the fact that the difference is Harbaugh wasn't there for that. So, and that's
Right.
the we bring in Harbaugh to instill a new identity, a new Charger team. But
Mhm.
yeah, I feel like it's more so on us than Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing because it just feels like the Jaguars bring out the worst version of the Chargers every time they play them. I know it was tough to watch the game today. And at what point, like in today's game, did you feel the momentum was completely gone? Like, what moment told you, man, this don't look like our day?
I had hope that if we can get a stop coming out of half with the game still being 14-6, that we'd be able to get something going. But when they scored and made it 21-6, I knew if we didn't score that drive, the game would be over. That pretty much what it was. We couldn't get anything going offensively,
Yeah.
and at a half, you got to play with some urgency. We're down 14-6. Defense let them go all the way and score. We need to put a drive together. Greg Roman called a terrible game. The play calling was really bad, but it's not all on Greg Roman because Lad McConkey couldn't get open. Keenan Allen couldn't get open. Rondé Gatson couldn't. Nobody could help Herbert, and with the way they were pressuring him, he didn't have much time. But when he did have time, there wasn't anything there. So I will say Jaguars did play good defensively, but yeah, when they went down in the score and make it 21-6, it's kind of when I knew the game was lost.
Before we even talk about playing Jacksonville, we've been given a lot of flowers to this team, in particular, the coaching staff. And the reason why we've been given a lot of flowers to the coaching staff, I don't want it to appear like I'm making excuses because I'm not. The Chargers just got their ass kicked today, so I'm not making excuses. But in the beginning of the season, when you lose Rashawn Slater, and then later you lose Joe Alt and Najee Harris. You have Amari Hampton out for a significant amount of time. We praise the coaching staff because they were able to hide all the deficiencies that the Chargers have, right? They was able to hide these injuries in a lot of areas where they were weak. They did a great job of scheming and being able to cover up a lot of issues that this team still have with regards to holes, even on the defensive side as well. And we've given them a lot of flowers for that. But today's game, it seemed like all of the deficiencies that the Chargers have, all of the weak areas that they have, all of the injuries that's on the offensive line, no kind of scheme or coaching could have covered this up. Everything that's wrong with the Chargers came out in this one game against Jacksonville. Do you feel the same way?
I feel the same way. Yes, but then again, no,
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, they have done a really good job of masking what's been going on and our problems that we've had. But I mean, I saw a lot of problems with our schemes. Specifically, I can call out one play. It was 3rd and 12, second half. We needed to stop bad, and I saw Tui Pelotu drop back in coverage, and we sent Derwin, and
It
that
should
didn't
have
make
been
sense to me.
reversed.
It
Yeah.
should have been reversed. It didn't make sense to me at all. They've been dotting up our middle of the field the entire game. It doesn't make sense to now send Derwin and drop Tui in the coverage. That doesn't make sense to me, especially when you need pressure. We didn't get pressure on Trevor Lawrence all game. That play
Yeah.
didn't make sense to me. There was another play on offense where Arande Gatson was 1-on-1 with Trevon Walker.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, that's their second best edge rusher. That's not supposed to happen. I don't know entirely if it was a scheme issue or if it was Pipkins not picking up his assignment, but Arande Gatson, one, is not even a blocking tight end. So at most he should be either passes off or he chips him. But I saw a lot of problems with our schemes. We just couldn't scheme guys open. We couldn't get the run game going. And then defensively was our worst defensive week in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And it went back to, like you said while we was watching the game, it went back to like it was before. Middle of the field, wide open.
Yeah.
Guys running wide, like everybody was just wide open. There's nobody within 5 yards of the receiver when they catch the ball. And
Yeah.
that's not how Jesse Minter calls our defense. So to me, for the most part, because of how many injuries we have, the coaches have done a really good job of
Mm-hmm.
masking our holes.
Mm-hmm.
But specifically today, it was a terribly coached game.
It was, and you could feel the drop off from the sideline, the energy, all the way to the execution on the field. It was bad. It was bad coaching. It was bad execution. It was bad scheming.
Mhm.
There was a lot of people that the gap control, they weren't where they were supposed to be. There were a ton of missed tackles. Like the worst came out in this game against the Jaguars, and that's starting to become a pattern. Like, let's talk about responsibility. Who takes the most blame for this loss? Is it the players or the coaches, or it's a combination of both?
It should be a combination of both. When we lose, like under Jim Harbaugh, we've been very competitive. The has have a winning record. Everything is great under Jim Harbaugh. But when we lose, you notice that when we lose under Jim Harbaugh, it's never like a close loss. We really like when the game gets out of reach,
Yeah,
it goes really bad. But the players are the ones out there playing, so it is a combination of both.
right.
Justin Herbert could have been better.
Absolutely.
He didn't have a lot of time, but Herbert could have been better. We
Mhm.
all know this O line could have been better. Receivers didn't do a good job of getting open. The D line was essentially non-existent today.
Yeah,
DBs besides Dante Jackson was nowhere to be found.
yeah,
So I mean, Derwin non-existent. No one made plays today. Like you said, there was a bunch of missed tackles. Deion Henley could have came up with a huge stop early in the game on 4th down. He missed
hmm
his tackle. Denzel Perriman, night and day compared to what he was against the Steelers and what he was today.
right.
It was bad overall. So it is a combination of both. Jim Harbaugh could have been better. Greg Roman could have been better. Jesse Minter could have been better. But the players also could have executed.
This team, as everybody knows, dealing with a ton of injuries, but today felt like more than just that, more
Yeah.
than just the injuries. Like, do you think this was just one bad game before the bye, something that they'll shake off, or do you think this exposes deeper issues that could hurt the Chargers in the AFC West race?
It definitely exposes deeper issues. I think we all know as much as we want to believe in this team, believe in Harbaugh, believe in Herbert, we
Hmm.
know if we know going into the playoffs, this old line is really bad because we're
Yeah,
gonna have to see teams like B more. And if what the Jaguars just did to us today carry on,
yeah,
we see teams like B-more, it's going to be the same exact thing. We're going to get
absolutely.
blown out
Yeah,
because the O line can't compete. We got blown off the line of scrimmage all day today, not only on offense but on defense, and
yeah,
that's another glaring issue. Defense, like I said, the middle of the field is always being attacked, and it's been happening all year. And we were hoping that the last 3-4 weeks was starting to turn around and go back to the defense that we saw last year.
Mm-hmm.
But it's starting to happen again. And
Yeah.
I mean, we couldn't get any pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah.
To everybody was there. Odafe was there. Tuli
Yep.
was there. Khalil was
Yep.
there. We couldn't do anything. Tier Tart, who's been one of our best, you could argue our best D lineman, he was non-existent today. So going into the playoffs, this is a huge issue because we all know without Alt and Slater, you got to protect Herbert.
And that's what I meant earlier by saying that we've been giving this coach, the staff, a lot of flowers because of the job they've been doing with coaching, because this is what we assumed they were going to be like when you had all these injuries, right? So we gave them a lot of praise because they found a way to scheme just enough or to buy Herbert just enough time to make clutch plays in big moments in games, and you weren't able to get it going like at all. This team is going into the bye at 7-4. It would have been nice to be 8-3. It would have felt a whole lot different than going in with this taste in your mouth into a bye. So I'm gonna hit you with this last question. Coming out of the bye week, what changes do you want to see? Whether it's lineup changes, scheme adjustments, or just the mindset to make sure we don't see another game like this today.
So certain changes I want to see. One, I know Mekhi Becton is, I mean, he was our biggest free agent signing, so I know he's going to start. I want to see Jamari on this offensive line. I do. We seen the entire year at left tackle, and he was serviceable. He was really good.
Yeah.
And I know we picked up Penning, but we put Deculus back in the game. So that should tell you all you need to know about our left tackle situation.
We actually played worse with Trevor Penning in.
We did. Jamari should be at left tackle.
Period.
Penning should be the backup guard for Mekhi because he can't stay in the game. And he was better at guard than he was at tackle.
Right.
So lineup changes, I feel like that should happen. We all know Bradley Bozeman shouldn't be starting, but we know that's not going to happen.
Right.
As far as change, I want to see Jesse Minter mix it up a little bit.
Right.
We've been, the middle of the field has been our weakest point, and teams know it because it happens week in and week out. We did a good job of covering it up the last 2-3 weeks, but as good as we played, I will say we played the Titans. That makes your defensive numbers look a lot better than what they really are, because Cam Moore did miss a lot of people in the middle of the field just because he's being a rookie. He made mistakes. The defense needs to fix whatever the problem is with the middle of the field, whether it's we try man more. We have to change something, because if we don't, teams are going to, like Trevor Lawrence, he didn't play a great game, but you didn't make him do anything special. You gave everything to him. Everything was easy.
Right.
So something has to change on defense. And going back to offense, Trey Harris needs to get more involved. We're starting to get down in the crunch time of the regular season. We need to make a push.
Yeah.
We just watched Lad McConkey, Keenan Allen, Quinn Johnson not be able to get open all game. Something has to change. And Oronde Gadsden couldn't get open either. Mix Trey Harris more into it. He's shown you he's good enough. He's shown you his skills. We know he's really good blocking, but allow him to show you his whole skill set.
Yeah.
Because something has to change on offense. Herbert barely gets enough time as it is, and when he does and guys can't get open, that's really bad.
Yeah.
Something needs to change there. The biggest change that needs to happen is on defense. Whatever it is in the middle of the field, we need to figure that out. And like I said, Jamari needs to be on the line. I don't know. You can put him wherever you want. Jamari needs to be on the line. He is, at this point, he's our best offensive lineman.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that is true. Whether Trey Harris needs to get more involved, and I agree with that. We know it starts up front, though. If you can't protect Herbert, then none of those other things will materialize because he needs time in the pocket. You just can't have him. I didn't see Fisk out there today. Will Dissly was a healthy scratch. And you figure on the day like today, it would have been nice to have them out there instead of having your receivers out there trying to block and all. But and as far as the defense is concerned, today looked like what we started looking like when we played the Giants and what it looked like when we played the Commanders, that we forgot how to tackle. We forgot our assignments. And they did a good job of cleaning that up over the last 4 weeks. But today it reared its ugly head again. And we've seen some of those same things and it got out of control. But something has to tighten up for sure. If this team wants to kick down the AFC West like we all thought they could, something's got to change. But that's our boat cap for today. Justin, I'm gonna let you go now because I just want to talk to the people for a few minutes before we get out of here. But I wanted you to come on, and this is like therapy. It actually is because you get your raw, uncut, unfiltered feelings right after game. And I know it was extremely disappointing. And just how we come on here and be excited after a win, we have to be able to come on here and pull our boat brothers together when it's tough times. And today was a tough day. It was a tough day to watch that. It was a big time blowout, and it seemed like it always happened when we play the Jacksonville Jaguars. And everybody needs to be better. But I'm gonna let you out unless is it something you want to part with before you go, and then I'll close it out. No? Okay, tough loss. I'll talk to you later. I'm gonna let you go ahead and be out, and I'll finish up.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So, guys, look, for somebody that's been a diehard Charger fan going on in January will be 49 years that I've been repping the Chargers. I've seen a lot of ups and downs, blowouts, embarrassing moments, all different kind of ways that you couldn't imagine how to lose a game. I've seen it all. This loss today was it was bad on so many levels. Just how I come here and I big the team up, I give them their flowers. I encourage everybody to believe in something that you can't see. But don't think that I'm out of touch or I'm naive to the fact that this offensive line is atrocious. We are on our fourth string running back. And I don't bring those up to make excuses because we just flat out got our ass kicked. I'm bringing it up to say I understand what the situation is. I don't want you to think, man, he's so into his emotions as a Charger fan that he don't see what we see. I see it. I see it. What I believed in was that this coaching staff have the resume. Greg Roman, say what you want to say about him. I argue about his play calling just about damn near every week. He needs to be better, but he does have a winning resume. He has had a quarterback who won the MVP under his guidance as offensive coordinator. You have Jim Harbaugh that won everywhere he went. That's where my belief comes in, that we have the right guys in place. Andy Reid get a lot of love for being in charge of the Kansas City Chiefs. They've been in good shape. So was Philly before, he came over to Kansas City. Philly was going to a Super Bowl and NFC title games every year under Andy Reid. And he brought that same aura to the Kansas City Chiefs. And we've been fumbling around pretty much everybody in the AFC West other than the Chiefs with these young coordinators. And now we have a winning coach in Harbaugh. Not saying that Harbaugh don't get out coached sometime. It happens to the best of them. Today, the things that Harbaugh teaches and preaches about, we're going to be tough. We're going to be physical. We're going to impose our will. We're going to beat people up in the trenches. We're going to beat people into submission. All of those things I love to hear for this Charger team that always been like a finesse team. And some people argue they have been soft for a while, haven't had that tough physical style like a la Pittsburgh or Baltimore. Overall, in the 2 years Harbaugh been here, we have been more successful. We want more, right? We want more. We want to get in the playoffs, and we want to win the playoffs too. But today we didn't look like a playoff team. We got our ass kicked in the trenches. The defensive line, like that's been our strong point with Denzel Perriman, with Khalil on the edge. Nothing worked today. And it seems as, you have a lot of teams out here, no matter how good you are, there's always one team that just got your number that you just can't beat. And it's starting to look like the Jacksonville Jaguars are that team for the Chargers. If kryptonite is the weakness for Superman, the Jacksonville Jaguars are the kryptonite for the Los Angeles Chargers. And I can't make any excuse. We went into Florida, and once again, it wasn't competitive. Jacksonville beat them from pillar to post, from A to Z, from one end zone to the other end zone. And you can't say it much simpler than that. I'm very disappointed. I know there's a lot of things to clean up going into the bye week. It would have been nice going into 8-3, but yet we 7-4 now. Realistically, we're still right in the thick of things. We still undefeated in our own division. Those are the things that I'm holding on to. But at the same time, I understand what this team needs and the level that they need to play at to be competitive with the better teams in the league, not there yet. And I was excited about Trevor Penning to what he was going to bring to the table. Trevor Penning was horrible. They just, for the most part, was just doing a bull rush, pushing him right into Herbert's lap. And it seemed like today the hits are starting to take its toll on Herbert. I'm tired of seeing it, but what are we going to do? That's the team that they got now. I've been saying it for a month. This is the offensive line that you got to deal with for the rest of the season. There's no other way around it. Like Joe Alt or Rashawn Slater not going to walk into the door to help you out. You got to do what you got, which is not a lot. And I know that Justin Herbert is going to take a beating in the media, the sports media tomorrow, but everybody could have been better, from the head coach all the way down. Jesse Minter, Greg Roman, Justin Herbert, offensive line, defensive line, everybody got to look at themselves in the mirror. We didn't call Derwin James' name one time today. We didn't call Tui Tuipulotu name one time. We didn't call Odafe Owe name one time. Dalen Henley was missing tackles all over the field. It was as ugly as it ever could get. So as much as I come on here and give them a lot of love and a lot of praise, and they deserved it for what they had done up until today, I can't be in denial and come on here and try to justify the horror show that we saw today. Bad. It was horrible football. It was painful to watch. And this coaching staff only could do but so much with schemes and all. This is a horrible offensive line, and I'm afraid it's not going to get any better. I've been saying playoff because I believe in the coaching staff and what they have been doing so far. But to see them get thoroughly dominated like this today, this don't look like a playoff team right now. And I could be proven wrong. They could turn it around. It's only one game, but today they didn't look like they belong amongst the best of the best when playoff time come around. So highly disappointed, but I just want to come on and do our boat cap like we said we would do right after games. Tomorrow I will go on and do my podcast, and I'll dig a little deeper into things, but I just wanted to say that I feel your pain. Hey, listen, try not to be so upset and try not to worry about things you don't have no control of. I want the Chargers to win every game and run through the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl and win. That's what I would love. But I know that's not reality. I can't control how these guys play when they line up between the white lines for 60 minutes. Today, they were horrible. I look forward to coming out the bye week and try to get back on track. And I still think that if they play better, they can get there. But then the hopes of what they could do when they get there and make the playoffs, whether it be wild card or whatever, it didn't look good at all. So thank you guys for coming here and checking out BoatCap. Thank you for allowing me to be honest in my feelings, and I want you to be honest in yours. I know there was a lot of people that were waiting to hear what I was going to have to say because I've been praising them so much for the work that they've been doing, but I'm in agreement with you. It was a horror show today. I want to move past it, but tomorrow I'm going to do the podcast tomorrow morning. I'm going to dig deeper into a lot of the issues and why it got so exposed today and what you could do to try to make sure that don't happen again and be competitive enough just to try to get in the tournament, right? That's all you want. You know, it's like I wanted to win the Mega Millions, but I can't want to win the Mega Millions if I don't go put a ticket on it. I have to have a ticket to have a chance. And I just want them to get an opportunity to be in the postseason and then see what happens. But that wraps up BoatCap. You guys don't forget to like, share, subscribe, And hey, listen, bolt up, y'all. Bolt up. There were going to be days like this, and we knew that. So we have to deal with what the reality is right now. And so I salute you guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm gonna go and check out some of the 4 o'clock games. It'd be a little difficult watching the Chiefs and Denver now because it kind of like put a little stain there because we didn't get the job done today. But salute to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Chargers came into town, a hot team, and you handled your business. Like we wasn't in it a little bit, a big time blowout. Congratulations to Jacksonville Jaguars. Time to go into the bye week, try to clean some things up and see what they can do when they come out. Don't forget to check out Chargers Talk 4630 tomorrow at about 9 o'clock a.m. I'm going to go on for about 15, 20 minutes, and we could dig a little deeper into what happened. But I hope you enjoy Boat Cat with my son, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.